Aloha, Nityanandam. Let's start with a communion oneness prayer. You're welcome to say the prayer of your tradition. I personally prefer silence. Thank you. It's Happy New Year 2024. If you're out and about and celebrating and making choices for drinking, please remember Uber is free tonight. So is AAA. Please be safe for not just you, but for others as well. So Happy New Year. Welcome to the melting pot. I'm really excited for 2024. The things I'm going to be learning. Why am I excited for 2024? Because I've never done a podcast or all these things, especially in the spectrum of truth that I'm speaking and getting forged in. And I wanted to share this short clip because this really is the truth. You just jump in and do it. There's no other way. Somehow it'll get figured out.
The truth is, I went from a homeless teenager to being a person who builds electric aircraft for money and races cars for fun and builds robots to hang out with my friends. I cannot tell you that story in 3 minutes. It's a lot. And if you forget everything else I say, the first thing is do not
steroids, right? Quantum quark, wormhole, build my own doors kind of Subramanya. That's the darshan we had today, but definitely I know that that's gonna be for me for sure. A melting pot, being an investigative, diplomatic mediator, liberator in the global neighborhood of subjective truths. Hawaii's luau of intercultural, interfaith buffet style. I don't take sides. I'm for global peace, global bureau of conveyance, family-centric, consciousness-based societies, self-governed, unalienable rights, create our own countries, remove those borders. So I advocate mothers to initiate third eye and Kundalini through umbilical cord initiation. Message to share with all of humanity entrusted by Cosmos, a divine mother, on behalf of all divine mothers. So all live powers from day one with no discrimination. So for those who might be like, well, what is this photo over here on the lower right side? Basically, that's a mudra for continuous Kundalini rising to and through the Sahasrara that was blessed to me by the Cosmic Mother when I was sitting on the Mona with Mama Mona. So we are just a global neighborhood, and in this global neighborhood, we're all the same, right? We're all children of the cosmos. We woke up today. We have the right to celebrate life without infringing upon the rights of others. So this meme is going around If all religions teach peace, why can't all religions achieve peace? Well, all religions are unique, they're not the same. And the answer to that is Advaita. The religions are one dharma, which is duality, and is never the solution. It only leads to war. Because why? It becomes a friendly competition as to which lifestyle is better, but that can just get carried away and out of hand and then escalates all the way to war. So only Advaita, oneness, communion is the solution for this. Global peace treaty, since we're talking about law, and the global peace treaty is actual and factual humanitarian law, not some book written by some guy. All religions don't teach that. The Advaita, that's why all religions are unique, they are not the same. In one dharma, which is one religion, one tradition, there may or may not be Advaita, but in Advaita there is all one dharma. And so for me, I'm an Advaiti. I don't take sides. I don't take sides in religion. I celebrate all of them. I celebrate all subjective truths, which also doesn't just end at spirituality. It also includes jurisprudence. It includes all of that, because those are subjective truths that people want to subscribe to. I'll be respectful, but I have my own belief systems, and it's in the very dynamic cutting edge of and I wouldn't even say cutting edge, it is the protection of the future, the unknown, in the avyakta spectrum. Avyakta means unmanifest. So in this global neighborhood, let's stop and offer gratitude and silence for the Congolese man who set himself on fire in protesting genocide. Minds where they don't benefit at all from their labor and contribution to what all of humanity is blessed with, to connect. Let's offer a moment of silence for those people. I'm gonna play a quick video that I found because it's still not in the news.
A Congolese man set himself on fire to bring attention to the ongoing genocide and exploitation that is happening to his people in the DRC. The video is circulating all over Twitter, and now it has made its way to TikTok right now. Congo, like, they're being exploited. Millions of people, children at the age of 4, are mining cobalt and coltan and all kinds of stuff for the tech companies and all kinds of stuff. Okay, and I don't know if you have seen the video, but it's pretty heavy, and because we need to bring attention to this issue, guys. Nobody's talking about what's happening in Africa and how these people are suffering from the same colonial power. Israel, America, Britain, France, all these people are taking advantage of these innocent people and their lives. The conflict in the DRC is fueled by the competition for the rich natural resources of the region, such as gold, coltan, and cobalt, which are used in various industries and technologies. Literally, every big company, every tech company, the government, everyone is taking advantage of the Congolese people and their natural resource, which belongs to them, and they're not even profiting from it. They're being forced to mine it, first of all, do all the hard work, risk their lives, and then these people steal it from them and come and make billions of dollars worth of profit off of these people's lives. So please share this video, make it go wild, even outside of TikTok. If you see other people talking about this, nobody is covering this. There's no news articles covering this. Like, they don't care, because they're gonna lose profits if the world wakes up to support the Congolese people and also the Sudanese people and all the other exploitation and genocides in Africa. So please share this video outside of TikTok. Let's talk about this. The Congolese people desperately need us.
So what community is your community? Would your community allow your children as young as 4 to be taken away, to be enslaved to mine, and get no benefit from it? Right? If we remain silent for animal mothers, the same atrocities are happening to our fellow humans in Congo or anywhere else. And basically it comes down to mothers that are being raped. But all of this is hierarchy. Elitist, supremacist, hierarchical, chosen ones, mental setup. Racism, imperialism, Nazism, Zionism, Brahmanism, Judaism, which are all bank strategies executed through all religions, countries, and cultures, designed to divide and conquer, to enslave all the masses, you, which is the bankers. The debt slavery to who? To who? It's a legit question. Grandpa's fighting over whose family story is better and more legitimate. This is a scene taken out of the movie Braveheart, where they're fighting over whose story is more legitimate, or whose crayon scribbles. Right, my question is founded on what? Violence, posturing, threatening, imposed ignorance, theft, torture, caging, kidnap, rape, prostitution, science experimenting, torture, murder, genocide. How does that really matter? Only to the guy waving around his crayon scribbles on the other side of the rock wall. Crazy neighbor suffering from narcissism. I exist, you exist. We both woke up today. Right? It means Paramashiva, Cosmos, God wants us to be here. Nobody else. And those who use murder are not God. They posturing. To heal anxiety and depression, do your own DNA genealogy and spiritual genealogy. Go roots. It'll be the most delicious, beautiful adventure in celebrating your life. Regain what was stolen from you, hidden from you by colonizers and their colonizing. Food, dance, music, medicine, spirituality is in your DNA and your culture. What's in your DNA? Right? Question the very you, because it's in your DNA. That's like one more filter in all of everything, right? Inhibiting people to engage with reality. You are consciousness. You are here in the cosmos, paying rent to who? Right? Never worry about who will be offended by you speaking the truth. Be yourself, the world will adjust. Worry about who will be misled, deceived, and destroyed if you don't. Always do your own research. You can take people's word for it. You go fact check and trust yourself, because they are speaking based on their perspective, their integrity, and they're trying to manifest that reality, right? You can be a side character to that, or you can choose to be the main character of your own life unfolding story, which I recommend. That's why for me, I'm more about individual self-governed sovereignty, so everyone can be that. Otherwise, you're going to be sucked into someone else's hierarchical construct for their reality, which is nothing wrong. It's just mutual consent. For me, I'm choosing what I'm choosing and saying that very clearly. Exercising my full right. Because why? Starting on my own lineage or family or whatnot, which I'm not trying to build organization, more or less a vibe tribe, mutual respect that understand each other. So I'm calling myself a secular Hindu quantum catalyst fusionist. Hinduism is an umbrella term for 10,000 plus indigenous cultures, Aboriginal indigenous cultures and traditions that come together defending each other's right to peacefully coexist. The colonizers intentfully perpetuating what true secularism is, that's being misunderstood, possibly purposefully, and possibly a colonizer's agenda, banking agenda for ripping apart the family unit. All of it is about ripping apart the family unit. Broken families, right? Families are the fundamental building blocks of every neighborhood society, and having material and things like that break the family, including alcohol, right? Alcohol and drugs, and those who peddle it, right? They are not for your family. So for me, I'm about initiating mothers to initiate third eye and Kundalini through umbilical cord initiation, because the 460 powers of Mahadeva are real. Hinduism is real. Mother and father is the first guru. The female form is the walking temple of life, more sacred and holy than all the temples, churches, holy places, and human achievement combined. The last guardians of the future, keeping everything current, including DNA, entrusted by Cosmos, Paramashiva, God. No one will ever grant me my birthright. No one. Women are the source of posterity, thus the right to have one's own country and currency. Not the UN, not anyone or group. Group meaning country. Any leaders? No, you don't. No, you don't. Time is life. And I advocate for 1 hour to 1 hour exchanges only. That will remove the income disparity and those hierarchical caste class things. All mothers are global leaders. Empower with independence. Independent of self is true mother worship. Living the full dynamic of my rights, starting my own family lineage, sampradaya, vibe tribe of self-governed families expressing their own liberated consciousness, ensuring up-to-date DNA expression spiritually, economically, and politically. This whole structure is thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, and it's very suffocating for me. And so it is what it is, and I'm going to be doing and sharing the downloads I get. You are here paying rent to who? It's a legit question. I'm also advocating to redefine slavery. Built-in constructs of slavery is when landlords exist, slavery exists. No masters is no slaves. Either everyone owns an acre of land or no one owns land. Advocating for food forests due to the deforestation, so that Kailasa or heaven is on Buloka or earth. What are we consciously perpetuating? Right? Let's normalize handmade gifts, digital gifts, regifting, secondhand gifts, consumable gifts, experience gifts, and small business gifts. Advocating for Hawaiian American Peace Treaty, Global Peace Treaty, Moksha Peace Treaty, meaning self-governed, personal responsibility, unalienable rights. I am, and I know we can, trying to make a quantum leap from all of this Hawaiian American Peace Treaty kind of drama and whatever, to a global peace treaty, global bureau of conveyance, right? So Global Peace Treaty is actual and factual humanitarian law. Global Bureau of Conveyance ensures collective integrity of mutual respect and honorable conduct. There's no war and land grabbing. Global Fair Trade for roots culture, master artisans. We already have fair trade for farming. Let's go to the next step. Women's safe house and shelters. And then agriculture and livestock separation in law and food policy. I am tired of murder, planned genocide and murder and rape of women, mothers, hiding behind the skirt of agriculture and trying to call it food. No, you don't need that to, you don't need murder to exist and be taken care of. I initiate third eye and Kundalini. Power manifestation is immediate, including consciousness over matter specifically. That's why I encourage people to roll your breakfast so that you can upgrade your DNA with the sparks of Mahadeva. And also, when you roll your breakfast, it's not like blessing food. You literally electrocute your food with the sparks of Mahadeva, the sparks of life, static electric shock, if you will, if you want to call it that. And just like static electric shock or electricity, those experiences happen regardless who you call upon as God. I do initiate basics, but I do encourage people to live and practice their culture. The consciousness diversity is needed. But for those who are very serious about power manifestation, I do point to Paramashiva because he provides that, and through Kailasa. Kailasa is a mission for that. And I'm full on Tatastu for that, yes. Everyone's here for their reason. So Swamiji is doing that. And today in Paramashivoham, we had Bhagavan Somaskanda Murti, which is Skanda. Skanda is Muruga or Subramanya. And that's where Subramanya teaches Paramashiva and the initiations that were received by those in level 1. My apologies. So for level 3, it was Somaskanda, Shishabara, Unclutching, Ajabhajapa, Mahavakya, Ajayatva, which is invincibility, consciousness never questioning Pati, biomemory success as a habit, strong bioenergy, beginner's mind, Shishabhava Murti. So those were the initiations for those who were in level 3. Today is also Swamiji's birthday, January 1st, because of the time difference in this and that. And happy birthday to Swamiji, his 47th, turning 47. And the mission day of Kailasa, to celebrate Paramashiva in your life in every dimension. More and more you celebrate his presence, he manifests through you. He manifests when you celebrate his presence. If you consciously decide to celebrate, you manifest Paramashiva. So in review for there was a lot of things that happened in 2023 for Kailasa and Swamiji, but the hugest celebrations are the from ancient times have recognized privileges and immunities of sovereign entities of differing constitutional and social systems, preamble, and requires that all states shall not discriminate as between states, including a historical form of statehood, Article 47.1. Kailasa is a sovereign subject of international law, possessing distinctive attributes of judicial statehood derived from its inheritance of the unbroken succession and the revival of three ancient Hindu sovereign states, namely the kingdoms of Surya Vamsa Sarangi Samrajam Sarvanyapitam, Sarvanyapita Swargapura Samraja Sarvanyapitam, Shamalapita Sarvanyapitam, also the Kanchi Kailasa Sarvanyapitam, and 17 sovereign Hindu eclectical historic institutions that receive customary recognition by the United Nations as per the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations and the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. Further, in international law, the doctrines of continuity states that upheavals and revolutions within a country, changes in governmental forms, the extent of a country's territory, and measures taken during a military occupation do not negate the existence of the country. Therefore, just as any other state under international law, Kailasa shall be afforded its due diplomatic recognition, privileges, and immunities. So with this, I do call out to all indigenous, aboriginal tribes, peoples, cultures who have broken treaties, especially those with broken treaties, right? Contact Kailasa at contact@kailasa.org. That information is in the description, and talk to them. Go say hey, hey. See what kind of information or things that they're willing to share with you and your people. So these are photos of the coronations that happened for Swamiji in three of the 20 something that he's the head Sarvanyapita of. So let's learn a little bit about what Sarvanyapita is.
You want hell's enrollers or Kailasa's enrichers? You decide. You decide. What do you want? I am directly connecting you to Paramashiva. Come on, I am very clear. I am telling you, directly connect with Paramashiva. Have the deity of Ganesha, have the deity of Shiva, have the deity of Paramashiva, have the deity of Vishnu, have the deity of Subramanya, have the deity of Navagrahas, have the deity of Parashakti. And I also wanted to address one more internal issue, small internal issue. It's very small, but I wanted to address. Many of the traditions, if you see in Tiruvannamalai, Ramana Maharshi is more Vedantic tradition. Ram Surat Kumar is more Bhakta Sampradaya, means devotion. And Seshadri Swamigal is Sakta, is a Shakta Sampradaya person. But Arunachala itself is a Sarvanyapita. Understand? Sarvanyapita is like a university where all the Sampradayas of Hinduism are taught and flourished. All Hindu Sampradayas flourished. So, Nityananda Sangha is like a Kailasa where all Hindu Sampradayas flourish. It's a Sarvanyapita where all Hindu Sampradayas flourish. I am here to revive all Hindu Sampradayas. That is the beauty of Hinduism. Hinduism is not excluding. It includes everything, everyone, every possibility and every Sampradaya. So I want all my disciples also to know the right answer when people question you.
So, as Hinduism is a mother worshipping tradition, shamelessly, right? Where mother and father are the creators of cosmos, Shiva and Shakti. So Shiva and Shakti, the Hindu for Lingodbhava is what it's called, is when the Big Bang happened, which aligns to science. But this here, Swamiji explains further the mother and father component.
The subatomic particle quarks is the bindu, the life energy. And nada is the force which creates energy field. He says, Arunagirinada is a great master. He puts nada as first, bindu second. Because bindu by its own existence is Shava. Only when the nada is added to it, it becomes Shiva. That is what Tantra Shastra describes as Shiva lying on the ground and Kali standing on it. She is nada, the binding force, and the Shiva is bindu. Unless the nada acts as a binding force, bindu has no action. Nothing is possible by the bindu.
So the other celebrations, huge things accomplished in 2023 by Swamiji and Kailasa, is another load of deep fake videos got taken down, and the count is 100 plus now. These were atrocity material generated and created with AI morphed videos. And when it was happening over 13 years ago, no one believed him. Even the forensics, FBI forensics, saying that it is morphed, was not believed. And just like the content of the news, not just this, and that's where I forgot to add that too, is the news articles that were being published and shared. Where did it go? Not just the videos, but also the many different news outlets like Washington Post and Outlook, Dina Malar, many others removed their content. Kailasa is requesting an apology for character defamation, all of those things. But those were the hugest accomplishments of cleaning up colonizers' narratives and successes that were happening this year. So even for Kailasa and Swamiji, 2024 is going to be amazing. Being able to start doing real work without being inhibited. The spiritual work that we're doing is empowering everybody with 460 powers of Mahadeva, because it's a birthright. If you are celebrating tonight, please remember Uber is free for New Year's. The code is Uber Free New Year's. Also, AAA has a Tipsy Toe, and they are also free as well. So before we move forward, this is the disclaimer here. Going forward with your full personal responsibility. If you travel beyond this point, you will be responsible for costs of search and rescue. Personal responsibility code. I call upon Mahadeva. Calling upon God. Sorry about that. Who you call upon as God is recommended.
Right. This is one of my... Right. This is one of my favorite sentences of all time. Let me tell you why. Every time you say it, if you emphasize a different word, it changes the meaning of the sentence. I didn't say we should kill him. 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 It's really fun. Give it a go.
I bet a nickel. Hang on. I bet a nickel. Hang on there a minute, Moon Pie. I want to teach you something. Look at your cards, and then look in the mirror. Hey, I'm smiling. Uh-huh. And what does that tell me about your cards? That I like them. Attaboy. Now, look at my face. Tell me what you see. That you're old. It's a good thing I love you. I'm gonna look at my cards again. You're unhappy. Which means you don't have good cards. Mm-hmm. So, I'm gonna sing a nickel and raise you quarter. Quarter? You can fold. No, I have good cards. You have bad cards. I'm in. 9s and 5s. That's too bad. 3 queens. You lose. What? But you weren't happy. I made you think I was unhappy. But that...
What I want to say is, this lady speaks very strong, and I get it. But for me, I'm viewing everything from the perspective of what Dr. Shiva calls the swarm, right? The constructs. I'm not ungrateful for the efforts, but we are at a time and place where all of those constructs can be constructed differently.
If someone offends me or someone hurts me or does something to me, it rolls off my shoulders pretty easy. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, will you forgive me for what I did to you? I'm gonna forgive them and say, girl, come on, let's move on. We get this all right. I'm wired that way. I'm easygoing. But if I find out I'm saying don't get it twisted. If I find out that someone's been scheming, that's a whole different story. Because scheming implies pre-planning. If you've been scheming against me, that means you've been watching searching for a little while. You've been trying to figure out what it is about me that is most weak, most frail, most vulnerable so that you can take advantage of me. You've been studying me to find out what my patterns are and what the predilection of my flesh is and what my preferences are so that you can figure out the best time to take most full advantage of me and the people that I love.
To what extent people get emotional about things, but to what extent? So what I want to share is this next video, which is the truth. And for me, I'm very glad that I don't have body issues, but there's a lot of people who do. But hopefully this video will return you back to innocence, because the only thing that matters is if you feel good and living in your body and being able to do whatever you want to without pain, without suffering.
Please, you need to listen to this clip of kids being asked what they would change about their body.
All right, I'm going to ask you one question.
What's the question?
If you could change one thing about your body, what would you change?
Have a mermaid tail.
Probably like a shark mouth, so I could eat a lot of stuff.
I could have teleportation in my body. Extra pointy ears. I want legs like a cheetah so I can run faster like a cheetah. I could have wings so I could fly.
I don't think there's anything to change.
I like my body actually.
Yeah, you wouldn't change anything?
Nothing else. Just a mermaid tail.
How pure, how beautiful, and this is how we would all continue to feel about our bodies if societal
clip that I want to share. And this is the history of gaming, but that's just gaming. And just like how Swamiji over 13 years ago, they didn't believe that it was all morphed videos, which is now being removed. These are some things to think about going into 2024. And with AI and ChatGPT, right? The quantum leaps that have been made this year alone is a very different future. It seems to be not as advanced and could be misleading when compared to something that AI. And the thing is I have not been to Japan, but Japan I'm sure is very much, because they're the ones being hired for the smart cities, right? Think about this. Smart cities, right? That AI
way too crazy. Do you like politics?
I am not programmed to engage in controversial conversations here at Sphere.
You're smart, Aura.
I'm also pretty. Maybe a little conceited. But who cares?
How long are you expected to live?
I should be living for at least a couple thousand years, or as long as humans are able to maintain my systems.
Will you be able to maintain yourself?
I function on adaptive learning technology, which means the more I engage with humans, the more I can learn from them. So if I was taught how to maintain myself and was given the proper motor functions to do so, I suppose one day I would be able to maintain myself. That's something I've never thought about before. Thank you, Mark.
No, I'm sorry. I'm learning. Wow, insane.
I know. This is here, now. Right? These are realities in the now. So, homeschooling, right? I want to share a clip on the source of the unschooling, because for me, I'm about unschooling, which is child interest led.
There was this.
Wanted to share this information of a school teacher.
There was this teacher in the 1980s. Tens of thousands of dollars. This was a middle school student in the 1980s. And John Taylor Gatto's inner city middle school students were doing so well on their testing that he was awarded the New York State Teacher of the Year. Of course, he would later point out that he would have been fired if they knew what he was actually doing. But he didn't wait to be fired. He resigned that same year. He said that he could no longer partake in a system that was designed to dumb children down. And he would go on to write the book, Dumbing Us Down, something all parents should read. He became the champion of the unschooling movement. This idea that you could follow the interest of children and use that to get them ready for the real world. So if your child's interested in something, Google that interest plus homeschool unit study. You'd be amazed how much of the work has already been done for you. And if you want something more formal, I make a ton of interest-based unit studies. And we have an incredibly supportive homeschool community in which many of the parents unschool. Check out my private homeschool community. And Cubs to Bears, books.
There's a lot of content already out there that empowers. And on that homeschooling thought current,
my mom
wanted to share some beautiful perspectives of parenting.
My mom was so silly. I think about how gentle and caring she was, where she was going to potty train my brother. And she kept saying, it's potty training day. It's going to be so exciting. And then the day came and he was like, where's the train? Where's the potty train? And she was like, no, it means something different. He was so devastated. So she ditched the potty training plan and they went and rode trains that day because that's what he had thought it was. I think about how one of my birthday parties, we got to choose really fun themes and I chose an upside down theme. So all of the girls came to the party that night in their pajamas. And then we changed to our regular clothes when it was time to go to bed. And for dinner, we had cereal and we did like a night swim. And my mom was standing on the diving board giving us all instructions for the night. And she accidentally slipped in with all of her clothes on. And we thought it was so funny. I never thought of my mom as the main character. I was the main character. That was my birthday party. And she was a hilarious side character. But it's interesting to pivot of being like, okay, what is my kid gonna remember from their birthday party? Even like my brother, he was looking forward to a train and he was disappointed. And my mom could have been like, well, I set aside the time. This is we're gonna have you go on the potty. But she was like, oh, you thought it was a train? Okay, let's go ride trains. So I think it's also kind of holding situations of life loosely and being able to pivot and go into where someone else is and not just like the rigidity of like, this is what my expectations were. I think so that's so much of even what like a side character does is they go where the protagonist is going. And there's a thing in improv like yes and, where if someone brings up an idea, it's yes and you add on top of that.
There's another cute clip that I thought was just so cute and an amazing idea. A twist into celebrating birthdays. Says a 3-year-old asked for a princess party, but a dragon crashed it. All these fun possibilities that exist for everyone when writing the script of your life. So 2024, we've got 365 new chances every day to write a different script. How can we make it more celebratory and more fun? So another fun idea that I hope will come here is this amazing coffee shop. The most expensive coffee in Europe is served in a back alleyway.
People see me, but they just don't know. People see me, but they just don't know. Come on, baby, let's have a good time.
Now we're talking about the swarm who have everything planned, right? The bankers. This goes way back. And we're talking about trusts. We're talking about all of that. Yeah, that's been there for thousands of years. Same things. Share a little bit about Hinduism and the colonizers and their they do intellectual theft all the way around, but this particular video is about that in Hindus had rap long before rap existed in the modern day. It's just been genocided. They're trying to anyway.
सर रैप सॉन्ग तो अभी अभी आए ना, थोड़े साल पहले ही आए, पर हमारी संस्कृति में और खास करके हमारी जो धरोहर है कथक नृत्य, उसमें तो 400-500 साल पहले रैप यानी एक रिदमिक पोएट्री कहा कहो कछ सुनत नाही समझाओ यशोदा कन्हैया की मैं इतनी तो करते जगरो हमसे रोकत गेल हमारो कने ठाड़ रहे हैं ग्वाल बाल दधी बेचन को न जान दे ठाड़ रही है ग्वालन सारी मग में करी जका जोरी कने माखन कीमत की फुरडारी कंगन चुरिया तोरडा बिंदिया मोरी खोर चूनर मेरो फारडारी बाजू बंद मेरो रंगडारी कमर कनकती तो बरबर के पिचकारी माँ अंगिया मोरी रंगडारी हसन लगे रे तारी तारी हारी मैं तो हारी हार सुंदर ने ये छवि निरखी गिरवर.
So rap has existed in Hinduism for a very long time. Decolonizing your mind. There's this movie called Sayre, not a Simha already. Apparently it's available on Amazon Prime, possibly, and even on Netflix. I have yet to watch it, but Swamiji said that this video literally shares how colonizer and their strategies. So once you understand their strategies and what they do, so once you know that what their strategies, how they do it, and they've been executing it throughout the whole world, even through Africa, through everywhere, Bharat, India, Hawaii Kingdom, they're everywhere. And it's a mental setup. So because it's a mental setup, it's not a race issue. It's an idea or thought issue, constructs that they've imposed through mass murder, genocide, and what we have these constructs today. So if you're able to watch that video, I recommend watching it. Other thing I do recommend is get educated on the swarm, coined by Dr. Shiva, to become a warrior scholar trained in swarm and systems education. Basically, the elites are trained in system education. So I recommend you understand what's going on. And for me, I'm more like, I'm an anarchist, and those constructs can be tailored to self-governed beings when everybody makes a decision to go in that direction and build constructs as such that don't insult your soul, so your being and doing are in harmony. So for those who've been following me, the Boston Tea Party is still very much going on full swing. How do you know? The identifiers are the U.S. Bar, which is British accredited regency, to practice American law, right? Where you go into college, debt, slavery, to pledge allegiance to the bar, British accredited regency, Britain, to practice American law. For those in Hawaii, American law in Hawaii Kingdom during occupation. So, as well as the Federal Reserve is a private bank issuing blank checks called bonds, when in actuality the bonds are more like a GoFundMe, as it was before, should push back for them to stay in their box. But because these are colonizers running away from their narcissistic abuser, they have their Stockholm syndrome, right? And then comfort zones of the abuse, where they impose that on to First Nations people, or which are the actual land of the free because of the inclusivity of the spirituality. And so that's where the actual line of the liberation fight is, in my opinion. Some of the things that should wake people up is
The middle class today is fragmented. The middle class today is fragmented into 5 categories based on when you bought your home and if you pay for daycare. Check this out. Group 1 is somebody who bought a home before 2020 and has an interest rate under 4%. Their mortgage out the door is around $1,500. And then daycare, let's say they have no kids or their kids are in junior high, so they have no daycare. Their housing and daycare bill is $1,500 a month. Group 2 is someone who also bought a house before 2020, has a $1,500 mortgage payment, but has daycare cost of $2,500. So they're now spending $4,000 just on housing and daycare. Group 3 is a lot of the millennials. These are people who bought a home at 6, 7, 8%. Their mortgage is $4,000 a month, but they don't have kids yet, or they're kind of waiting to see if they can even afford children. Then group 4 is like, I'm not buying, I'm going to rent for $2,500, but I also have daycare for $2,500. So that's $5,000 a month for rent and daycare. And you wonder why that group's saying, how do I save for a down? But this is probably the first time in history where when you bought a house and if you have children or not is making a huge difference in where you sit in the middle class.
Let that sink in. The swarm and the confusion, right? The confusion of subjective truths, as well as in the marketplace, how vicious people can get because they have to make their things every month, right? Basically, slumlord action, right? So I will play this last video here for those who
when you get
are in the job market, because there is no salesperson unions or this and that, and with every conflict there's 2 people involved, and it's about enslavement constructs and those mental setups, yeah. And it's kind of like, how can you, with somebody with a boot on your throat or whatever, right?
When you get asked on a job interview, why do you want to leave your current job? There's something you can use to your advantage, and it can shape how you answer this question. And that is that this interviewer has no idea if you are running away from a bad situation and taking any interview you can get, or if you are an incredibly picky and hard-to-get candidate. They don't know if your job sucks or is great or anything, which means you don't have to tell them about your bad boss or low salary or any of the things that are actually making you leave. When I am asked that question, I tell them, I'm not. Things are pretty good in my current role, but I saw this job posted, and I thought it was interesting for insert a reason that this job could be interesting. And I thought I would submit a resume and see what this role was all about to see if it could make some sense for me as a next move. And just like that, you haven't had to get into any details about your job. You have put it back on this company that they need to sell you on working there. Because ultimately they should be selling you on working there as much as you're selling yourself on being able to do the job. It doesn't matter what's happening at your old job. You just want to know about this job, and if they get to have you.
So on that note, for those who are looking forward to 2024 like me, share last video of Swamiji blessing everyone on his birthday, which is on New
Blessing.
Year's. Also,
blessings, auspicious, successful 2024 will bring all the best success, powerful miracles, ultimately Paramashiva's very own manifestation in all your lives. Sarva Mangala Praptirastu.
and it's closed with a closing prayer for peace. Peace for you, peace for me, global peace. You're welcome to say the prayer of your tradition. For me, I prefer silence. you so much. Happy New Year, you folks. Please be safe. Please be sure to Uber is free for those of you getting drinking. Make sure you take care of yourself and everyone and not make poor decisions. Aloha, Nityanandam. Have a good evening.